Black Ops 6 could be in serious trouble. And before I go into why it's in trouble and what that can mean, I first of all wanted to give a little update on the camo grind. As you can see, I have gotten all 33 weapons. You can see by the beautiful calling card that it gives me. I've got it for 33 weapons, and I did skip a few weapons because there's only 33. It only requires you to get 33, and because there's more than 33 guns, I had the luxury of skipping a few guns that I just didn't want to do. For example, the Tanto 22, I just completely skipped it. Didn't want to do it, and I did the SOG instead, which is significantly better. And I completely skipped the sniper category. Just completely. I didn't want to do it. The only gun I did and got gold for was the SVD, as you can see here. I started to work on the Frost line. I didn't finish it. And I didn't really want to do this because the camo challenge requires you to get 2,000 headshots, but when you pack punch this thing, it becomes explosive. So to get those 2,000, you can't pack punch this weapon. It's really stupid. I don't understand, but that's just how it is. That's why I kind of skipped it. I did the launchers, and I haven't done the specials. So there are a few weapons that I did skip. There is a good chance that I will go back to some of the weapons I skipped later, but for now I wanted to get the ones that I actually wanted to do out of the way before I go and do some of the other ones later. But while I continue to go on my little rant, I'm going to load up Citadel Daymore. So while I go and play through Citadel Daymore here, I also wanted to give my overall experience with the Black Ops 6 camo grind, what I liked, what I didn't like. Honestly, it was pretty fun. It was pretty enjoyable. It wasn't too bad. The only thing, I think the 2,000 headshots was kind of stupid. I think that's just a ridiculous, wow, I can't aim. I think that's kind of a ridiculous amount to have. And another annoying part of the camo grind was the Opal challenge. For that one, it requires you to get 30 special zombie eliminations, which is either manglers or on this map it would be the doppelgast, but 30 of them. And 30 doesn't seem like a lot compared to 2,000, but they don't spawn every round, and a lot of the time there's only one per round, so it definitely did take a long time when I first started working on the camo challenge. Not long after I made my last video talking about Black Ops 6, Directed Mode came out, which, if you're unaware, Directed Mode is basically a side mode in this game where it gives you the steps to do the Easter egg, basically holds your hand, walks you through it. It has a, like, the round cap is at 15. That's the highest you can go to in any given game. And what I and a lot of people have been doing was getting pack punch open and then just leaving the round cap at 11. And on round 11, there's a mangler spawn. Well, most of the time there's a mangler spawn every round, one per round. The rounds are short. There's like 30 zombies. You go through the round, you get your 30 manglers. So that's what I've been doing for most of it after the last video came out. So Directed Mode did make it a lot easier, and I will be coming back to Directed Mode later to kind of talk about that, because there is something that happened to it kind of recently that I think is worth mentioning, because I do think it's a problem. Overall, the camo grind was pretty fun. I enjoyed doing it. It did have its tedious parts, but I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was pretty fun. But that's kind of all I have to say about the... Oh my goodness gracious, what the fuck? That's kind of all I have to say about the camo grind. This is obviously the Nebula camo. It's very beautiful. When you shoot enough, it kind of turns into this pink, purpley looking thing. It's very pretty. I'm actually really happy with this camo. I do plan on, like I said, going back later and doing the weapons I skipped. Like, I will do the Tanto. I'll do the, I think it's called the Siren 9mm or whatever it's called, the special weapon that came out. I'll do the snipers at some point, but not right now. I'm kind of taking a break from the camo grind for a little while. Now, I do want to talk about this map, Citadel Daymore, because similar to the camo grind, the last video I made was before this map came out. So naturally, I did want to talk about it. I did want to give my thoughts, my impressions, my feelings. First of all, I think this map's awesome. I do love it a lot. I think it's aesthetically pleasing, beautiful to look at. I love the layout. It's not too complex, and call me, you know, simple-minded monkey brain, but I do enjoy a smaller and more straightforward design on a zombies map than an overly complex one, but I'm sure there's not going to be anybody who disagrees with me on that one. I did do the Easter egg not long after the map came out with Jonathan, aka Antarctic Vibes. He has been in a few of my videos, like my last Marvel Rivals video. He was in it at some points, as well as my first playthroughs of Terminus and Liberty Falls. He played that with me. But we did the Easter egg on our first attempt on this map together. Overall, I actually thought it was pretty fun. I really don't have many complaints about this Easter egg. It is pretty straightforward. It's almost reminiscent of Shadows of Evil's Easter egg, in the fact that most of the Easter egg revolves around us getting all 4 elemental swords, which I will talk about in a minute here. It revolves mostly around us getting 4 elemental swords and then just doing stuff with those swords, and then it's a boss fight. That's pretty much the gist of the Easter egg itself. It's pretty fun. I really enjoyed doing it. As far as the swords go, at launch, they were honestly pretty weak and a bit underwhelming. They can only kill zombies with 1 swing. The special abilities on the swords would take just way too long to charge, and they wouldn't do enough damage to warrant using it. For it being the main focus of the map, didn't do a whole lot of damage to the main boss itself, which is like the focus of the map, and it doesn't do damage to the bosses. There wasn't really a point to use it after like you did the quest because of how weak it was against the boss. After a recent patch, which again I will get into in a second, the swords were buffed significantly. Now they kill 2 zombies with 1 swing, which I would prefer 3, but whatever, I'll take it. And you know, the special abilities take less time to charge. They do more damage overall. A buff across the board to the swords, which is very good in my book. One issue that I personally haven't encountered during my time with this map, but a lot of people have, which I do want to address, is this map was plagued with bugs at launch, and even still some of them after a recent patch haven't been fixed, and ones that they said have been fixed weren't actually. So I really haven't experienced many bugs or issues playing this map personally, but a lot of people have, and it has been a big problem, as well as Treyarch's just general lack of communication and acknowledging that there are issues with their game. Their game is broken. It needs to be fixed. They just kind of lack the communication. There are still plenty of issues, and so much so that when they released directed mode for this map just recently, they still allow people to get the early completionist calling card, which, if you're unaware, is a special version of the calling card you get when you complete the Easter egg. You'll get a special version of it if you complete it before directed mode comes out. I'm gonna die. I just threw a decoy, and they just don't care. Jesus Christ. I don't really understand why they released this map so soon. It sounded good that we were going to get a map before the new year, but in reality, I think they just wanted to get it out for the sake of getting it out, because this obviously was a very unpolished experience that needed a little more time for playtests and bug fixes. Another big issue with this map, and it's a serious problem overall, not with just the map, but the entirety of COD as a whole, is the obvious replacement of the voice actors, namely Samantha Maxis, who has had the same voice actor for over 10 years, I believe. It's been the same woman voicing Samantha Maxis. That's like her character. That's what she's known for. That's, a character she loves. And she was just replaced because Activision refused to protect their actors against AI, which is just really scummy. I could be getting some of the details on that wrong, but I think the overall understanding is Activision just refuses to protect their voice actors against AI usage, AI replicating their voice, and that sort of thing. And because of some voice actor strikes going on that I'm assuming some of the voice actors are a part of, they were recast for this map. The maps before had them, but I believe that's because the game started development and their voice lines were recorded before the strikes started. So that's why they Samantha Maxis was in, you know, Terminus and Liberty Falls as the normal character. But now if you go to Terminus and Liberty Falls, it's a different voice actor, and it's very obvious. It's very you know, upsetting that Activision is so scummy that they just refuse to protect their actors. And I hope that all of them have an opportunity to reprise their roles with their characters, because, you know, I know, especially for the woman who voiced Samantha Maxis, and I can't remember her name. I'll put it on screen because I just can't remember at the moment, but you know, that's like her character. So I hope they do get the opportunity to voice them again, because it is really scummy that this is the point where we're at. Despite its flaws, despite its problems, I overall think that this map is good. It's not off to a bad start, but it's, I guess, rough around the edges for Black Ops 6 Zombies. Terminus was a good map. Liberty Falls, despite it being simple and pretty bare bones comparatively, is still a good map, and I still think this is a good map despite all its issues. Now, before I get into this next little segment of the video, the issues with the game as a whole, I do want to make a disclaimer that I don't think this is a bad game. I think that Treyarch and Activision are making some really bad choices, which overall are going to hurt this game in the long run. It's hurting the community already. It's only going to get worse from here if this is the path that they continue on. Like, they're completely alienating their fan base, the community. They're obviously not listening to us at all, but I just want to put it out there that with all its problems, I think Black Ops 6 Zombies is still a good game. Black Ops 6 as a whole is a good game. With that being said, however, I do want to talk about some problems with the aforementioned patch that came out. I believe it's like 2 days ago now at the time of recording this. They have, along with making good changes, made some very questionable ones, for lack of a better word. For example, the aforementioned directed mode for Black Ops 6 Zombies made camo grinding very easy, but now they made it so where there's, I think, a 35-second delay in between rounds if you stay on the same round for more than like five rounds, which is a change that doesn't really make any sense, and nobody is happy about it at all. I've seen some people who are like, I mean, you know, it doesn't affect me, so I don't care. But that, you know, is a very dumb way of thinking, in my opinion. I voiced my opinion in some comment sections of like Mr. Dalek JD's posts and Mr. Rolf Waffle's posts, kind of voicing that I think that this change is pointless. It was not an issue in the first place. It was not something that needed to be changed. And this is just Treyarch, again, making dumb choices, making changes that did not need to be made. While I did finish the camo grind before this change came out, if I go back and do any of the other camos, I'm not going to want to do it on directed mode. I'm going to have to play standard now, because while I guess I can do it in director's mode, it's going to take significantly longer for no reason. That's another dumb change, as well as changes to speedrunning strategies. For example, in, again, this patch that came out recently, there was a speedrunning skip on Terminus's Easter egg where when you go into the lockdown on the ship, you could throw a shock charge and just immediately skip the lockdown. While I guess this is technically not a feature that was supposed to be implemented into the game, there was nobody crying out that this needed to be fixed. It was used by a small, tiny majority of the zombies community who know of the little skips that you can do to just make your speed running that much quicker. it was majority of the people doing these Easter eggs didn't even know that these skips existed, and even a smaller portion of them actually did the skips. So for them to go in and just change all of these and patch all of these skips that people have makes no sense. There was no need to do that. It was something that just overall did not need to be changed. It wasn't only with that little skip, it's been with a couple other skips. I can't think of them at the moment, but there have been a couple other instances where they, in quotes, fixed an issue with speedrunning skips. While I'm not an active member of the speedrunning community, I still can understand why all of the speedrunners are upset. I can still understand why this is a huge issue, and while Treyarch are making changes and making patches to things that really didn't need to be patched, the game is still buggy. There are still bugs running rampant on Citadel Daymore. Not only on Citadel Daymore, but in the game as a whole. I've seen so many people complain about server instability and hackers. There's no anti-cheat in this game. There's no anti-cheat, so cheaters are running rampant in the multiplayer. Now, I don't play the multiplayer, but I can still sympathize with the multiplayer community because I have more than 3 brain cells. I can understand why the multiplayer community is upset because they're not able to play the game, they're not able to have fun playing the game, and they're making dumb changes that don't need to be made. Meanwhile, the game is still broken and there's still cheaters everywhere. Another thing I wanted to touch on real quick is the new Squid Game collaboration limited time mode that's now in Black Ops 6. I think it is absolutely stupid and ridiculous that they are even doing this collaboration with Squid Game, and on top of people paying $70 for the game, paying for the battle pass, paying for the Black Cell stuff, there is now an additional thing you can pay for in the Squid Game event. There is a separate battle pass for that event where people can pay to have the premium battle pass for that event, which is incredibly scummy while you have all these problems with your game. I have personally not played the limited time mode for zombies because I've seen bits and pieces of it and it looks like shit. It just looks awful. It's only on Citadel Daymore and Liberty Falls. Terminus has just been kind of neglected when it comes to limited time modes and that sort of thing. Just they haven't done anything for Terminus except patch speed running strats for no reason. If I get progress towards the battle pass in that, fine, whatever, but I'm not paying for an extra battle pass. That's fucking stupid. That is so incredibly greedy of Activision. Just when you think they can't stoop any lower, they manage to one up themselves pretty consistently. All these problems with Black Ops 6 are getting so bad that big COD YouTubers, I'm gonna use Nadeshot as an example here because I think that was the biggest plot twist that we've seen. Nadeshot is quitting Call of Duty because everything I've talked about is why he's leaving Call of Duty, and it's only going to continue to get worse from here. He was the first of, I'm sure, many who are just going to go play different games, namely Marvel Rivals, which is what I've been doing a lot recently, and I'm sure that's what everybody else is going to be doing a lot. Because that game is free to play, and they seem like they actually care about their player base. Another big issue that I wanted to touch briefly on is the use of AI artwork in Call of Duty. Now, I know that there isn't a lack of, artists in the community that Activision and Treyarch can hire, but they seem to love using AI slop, as it's been dubbed. I'll flash a few of the examples on the screen. Just very obvious uses on Twitter and even in-game promotion of just obvious AI generated artwork. If you're a AAA game developer, you should be hiring actual artists to make your promotional artwork and not just using AI, because it's very obvious when you use it and it looks terrible. It's been plaguing this game, and it's, I'm sure, only going to get worse because it's less money they're going to have to spend on hiring artists. Now, one thing I wanted to mention as well, because I found it very depressing. On Twitter, Charlie Intel had tweeted that in December, Black Ops 6 lost 145,000 players in December alone because of how bad the state of the game is. It's getting bad, and if this isn't a telltale sign of that, I don't know what is, and I won't really say much else about that, but I just thought it was interesting to point out. I think I mentioned before that this Squid Game event going on was not the first limited time event that they have done. I can't remember what the one before it was. I think it was Archie's Festival Frenzy or something. But in that event, you basically had to collect little trophies that dropped from zombies. You know, it wasn't too difficult to do. You just run over, pick up the trophies, and it counts towards the completion. And you use those trophies to unlock certain rewards, and if you unlock a certain amount, you get a weapon. But so few people have been doing the event, have been playing the game, and have had so many issues with the game in general that they just decided, yeah, we're going to give the reward to anybody, no matter how much progress you've made towards it. Which is extremely depressing. I didn't even finish it, and the reward for it was like a Barrett 50 cal. I think it was called an AMR or whatever it was called, but that was the reward for the event, and every single person got it despite how much progress they made towards the event. Now, right now, Black Ops 6 in general is on a dark path. It's setting a bad precedent for what, you know, these other studios could put in their games, and if it continues, more people are going to start quitting Call of Duty, and it's just going to get continuously worse from here. I really hope it doesn't come to that point. Black Ops 6 has the real opportunity here to be a top tier Call of Duty game, and they are fumbling the bag so incredibly hard right now. And I hope that they can correct it, because it's not looking good right now, and I hope that it can get better from here on out. We still have, I believe, 2 more zombies maps to look forward to in this game's life cycle. So I hope that the rest of the game gets significantly better in terms of community support, in terms of game stability, bug fixes, quality of life improvements, them just, you know, not changing shit for no reason. I hope it gets better for their sake, because I want to play this game, but they are just making it so hard for me to want to play. Alright, so I'm done bitching about Call of Duty for a little bit. My next video may be more of my normal style of, I guess, funny moment content. I hope you enjoyed the last Marvel Rivals video I made. I am really enjoying that game, so I most likely will continue to play it and post videos on it. I hope you enjoyed me rambling for, I don't even know how long this video has been recording for. Let me know if you want more COD Zombies videos, because I still love the game. Real quick before the video ends as well, I'm in a band called Terranium, and recently, as in a month ago, we released our first single in a while called Daisy, based off the Doom soundtrack. If you want to give that a listen, I'll leave a link to it down in the description. You should check it out. It's on every streaming platform, as well as a visualizer on YouTube. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Expect some more singles in the near future, as well as Damned 2 on 115 day, January 15th. But that's all from me. I love you all so much, and goodbye.